Aloha! Welcome, you guys. My apologies. I was trying to reply back on my personal page and I accidentally went live on my personal page. But I wanted to welcome you. Thank you for joining me on my free live stream painting workshop. I'm glad to have you. Katie Case is in the house. We're going to wait for people to come in. Kimberly is here. If you guys could please put in the comment below where you're watching from. And if you're watching live, put hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, if you could put hashtag replay. Sharon Martin from Ohio, Minnie. Woohoo! Glad you're here. Thanks for letting me know, you guys. Naomi Chung from Makakilo. Tara Schramm. Woohoo! Glad you guys are here. We're going to just wait a little bit more for people to come on, and that's probably why people are like, where are you? Sherry Martin, glad you're here. Sherry Contrell Meyer, woohoo, glad you're here. Thank you, Chris, Amber, and the kids. I hope your kids are here too. Devin from Kaneohe, awesome. Kameko, oh, love you, girl. Good to see you. Glad you could join me. Ashley from Tennessee. Jan, good to have you. Yasmin, live from Portland, Oregon. Woohoo! Roger Duke, glad to have you. Lonnie Key from North Carolina. Hey guys, I love North Carolina. I just got back from them. Tina, good to see you. Melissa, people aren't finding you or watching the other posts. I'm so sorry. Mitch, oh, good to have you, Mitch. Cheryl, glad to have you. Tessie, Tara, Skylar Brady, and Tara from Virginia. Woohoo! All right, Cheryl. Hi, you guys. Case Ohana live. And downtown Pennsylvania, we have Stephanie Riley, USA. Awesome. Maribel Young, all the way from Eva Beach. Kazumi Edwards, glad you're here. Anne Marie from Kailua, can't watch now, gotta buy something, no worries, I'll have a replay on here. Kimberly, you got the thing's going so fast. Tennessee, and happy birthday, Blakely. Yes, I want to give a shout out to Blakely. I'm going to do that in just a second. Tina, she did. Glad you're here. Carla, glad you're here. Happy birthday, Blakely. Case, Cheryl, Kazumi. Oh, thank you so much. K-Hal and Kiana from Orlando, Florida. Woohoo! Sadie Chong, hello from Waipahu. Mari and Owen from Georgia, USA. If you've just come on, if you could put hashtag live so I know you're live here. And if you're watching the replay, if you could put hashtag replay. Kimberly Jarrett, watch with the girls. Woohoo! Linny, yay, glad you made it. Hi, everyone. Tiff, glad you're here. Kiddos excited. All the way from Laia. Holly Chambers and Emma. Woohoo! Cheryl Sakihara, wonderful. So for those of you guys that just came on, please get your paint palette ready here. You want to put your yellow, your magenta, blue, black, and white. And some of you guys, I know you've asked me earlier, what if I don't have magenta? If you have red, that works as well. So not to worry. Oh, Paige from Washington State, glad to have you. Chris Murakami from Kaneohe, my daughter's so excited. Well, I am so excited too. Terry Riddle, hello from Cincinnati. Wonderful to have you guys. And I hope you have your paintbrushes ready. We're just going to use 2 paintbrushes. Got your water and have your canvas. So have your canvas here ready. So, okay, how many of you guys are ready? You guys are ready to start? Callie Leong is in the house. Woohoo! Glad to have you. So I'm going to get started for those of you. So today we're going to be painting this. Oh, you know what? Before we get started, hang on real quick. I was going to do something, but I found out there was copyright issues. But I just want to give a big shout out to Blakely Case all the way in Washington and wish you a happy birthday. Woo! Could we all wish Blakely a happy birthday today? She's 10 years old and all the way from Camas, Washington. I'm so glad that you could join me here and celebrate your birthday celebration with you. And I just wish you the best birthday ever, that you'll have lots of fun. Glad to have you guys that's coming on here. Kai from Kailua, Taj and Wheela, glad to have you. Wonderful. Good morning, you guys. So if you're just coming on, please get your paints ready. And you can put about this much on top. You don't have to put a whole lot. All right. Ola and Ohana. Carla, glad to have you. Okay. Guys ready to get started? Woohoo! Deborah Roscoe! Luana, glad you're here. Awesome, awesome. Thanks you guys for sending that happy birthday. Anybody else celebrating a birthday? Just pop it in the comments. We'd love to wish you happy birthday too. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I love the aloha spirit happening here right now. Michelle, glad you're here, Michelle. Oh, wonderful. Aloha Bonnie, glad you could jump on. Alicia Blake, glad to have you. Sawyer Addie, Callie Blake from Wisconsin. Donna Sherwood, Donna, Danielle, and Lily from St. Louis, Missouri. Woo! All right, celebrating our first missing tooth. Woohoo! All right, so before we get started, I wanted to share with you guys, I have 2 rules. So for some of you guys that have taken my workshop, have heard this before. So my first rule is that everyone's art is beautiful, because art is an expression of yourself. Okay, so this is not a competition. This is about having fun and being creative. And I really feel that competition and just will stifle that for us today. And so there's a time and a place for that, but today it's all about fun. We're gonna push away the virus blues today, okay? And we're just gonna have a moment to just have some aloha. And so the first rule is everyone's art is beautiful, and we all express ourselves differently. So you know how some people, they may laugh really bold and big, right? Like ho 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 ho. And then you have some people that laugh really quietly, like ho ho ho, very softly. Hi guys, thanks for jumping in. And they laugh very softly. Oh. So you know, sometimes people paint in the same way. They paint very boldly. They use bold colors. And some people are very detail oriented and they paint very tiny, very detailed. And you know what? Both of those are beautiful. Okay, so I want you to feel free today to create and to express yourself during this time and just have fun, okay? And like my mentor Matt Tommy says, he says that if every artist embraced their uniqueness, there is actually no competition, okay? So my second rule is have fun, okay? Have fun, you guys. Let's just take this moment, you know, and just have fun together. And I'm glad that we could connect together and just let you know that you're not alone during this time and you are loved and adored, okay? So I'm sure the kids are like, come on, let's get it going. So again, if you haven't got your paints, get them on your plate. If you don't have a plate, you can use a plate from home and put saran wrap around it and put some paint on there. And we're going to use these 2 brushes here, okay? And we're going to be using acrylic paints, which is very forgiving. It dries quickly, and what I love about it is if you make a mistake, you can also, oh, no worries, Stacy. You can join in later. I'm going to have another live on Friday. And so when you work with acrylics, it dries quickly, but if you do get it on yourself, hopefully you're not wearing, you know, like a tuxedo or anything. But if you get on your clothes, I would say wash it out really quickly with soap and water. Also, if you get it on your furniture or carpet or floor or whatever. And then if you get in your hair, you can just always use your fingernails, okay, to take it out. So just to give you a little bit of strategy how we're going to paint today, with acrylic paints, normally you're going to start with what is the most farthest away from us. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to move my camera, so sorry if it's a little shaky here. I'm going to try to keep it as still as possible. Okay, so today we're going to use this as a sample here, but again, please don't feel like it has to look exactly like that, because you're going to have your own unique color mixtures. You're going to have your own unique strokes. And so don't feel pressured that it has to look exactly like this. Now, you young people, you kids out there, Blakely, I know that you guys have a great imagination. So even though I have this, I know you're probably thinking of different things to put in the water of this underwater scene. So what we're going to do today is we're going to paint the water in this background here, and we're going to do this yellow kind of like coral thing in the background. We're going to add a little bit of light coming in here. Then we're going to work on our stars. Actually, we're going to do an underpainting. And if you're wondering what is an underpainting, it's a painting under the painting. So you don't see it here, but when I first painted this, it was yellow, just so that I knew where my stars were going to be. And then we're going to paint the reef, and think of it like layers. Okay, we're just going to be building up layers, and that's the fun thing with acrylic paints, because we can get all these mixtures of colors. Okay, oh, thank you, Katie. Sorry, I saw Katie's text. You're very welcome. And so I love you guys. I love you guys. You guys are wonderful. And we're gonna have fun. Okay, so first thing, let's grab our biggest brush here. This one right here. Okay. And I want you to mix your white. I have phthalo blue, which is like super intense. So you might have to use more than I do, but just kind of make it this tone of color. I know that on the camera, it might look a little bit not exact colors in real life, but that's okay, because again, we're just having fun. And I want you guys to use a lot of paint, okay? A lot of times beginners, when they paint, they don't use enough paint. So I want you to, like your white here, you're gonna probably use half of that, okay? And here in Hawaii right now, it's nice and sunny, so my paint is probably gonna dry very quickly. But some of you guys might be in a cold area and your paints may not dry as quick as mine, and that's okay. And if you notice, I'm just kind of going in this diagonal direction, and this is giving it, you see how it kind of almost looks like sun rays. So just do this diagonal and hold your brush so that the paint bristles point towards your canvas. And what that's doing is it's just helping to push all of the paint onto your canvas, because there's like little indentions on there. And then when you get to this part, you can kind of use a little bit more white. And again, just keep it in that diagonal direction. Also, when you're painting, pressure has a lot to do with it. A lot of times people think of using a paintbrush like a pen or a pencil, and usually you think of a pen or pencil with pushing, but I want you to think of when you're painting, you're pulling, you're dragging. It's almost like a toddler that has a baby blanket. We're dragging the paint, okay? So sometimes if you put too much pressure on your brush, you're actually going to push the paint away. So a lot of times the most common thing, or one of the common things for new people when they're painting, is they push their paintbrush a little too hard. So it just depends what effect you're trying to convey on your painting. All right, how are you guys doing there? Can you see okay? Must be a sign. Yay, glad you're here. Oh, do you see my dog in the background? That's Sunny. She's keeping us company. Hello, Heather Kang. Glad you could join us today. Awesome. All right. How are you guys doing on your ocean here? So you see how this part comes down here? So bring this part down. You don't have to go cover your whole canvas because we're going to put the reef on top of it. Beautiful. You guys are doing an amazing job. Yeah, yep, Sunny, she's still here. So I hope she doesn't get jealous. Good thing is, if she doesn't hear other voices, she probably just thinks I'm talking to myself. Because usually if there's other voices that she hears, I think she'll get a little jealous and start barking. So fill in this part here, okay? And use a lot of paint, okay? Use a lot of paint. If you're like, oh, why do I have some little uncovered areas? It's probably because you're not using enough paint. And now what I want you to do in this middle part, put it a little bit lighter here because we're gonna have a little bit of sun rays. We'll come back to it once it dries. So that's another thing with acrylic paints. We wanna make sure if the layers are wet, then they'll blend colors together. If they're dry, then they'll put the other color on top of it, okay? So, all right. I know I'm paint a little fast, so how are you guys doing? Did you guys, are you guys good to go on to the next thing? If so, can you just put in the comments ready? Otherwise, I'll wait a little while for you guys. Hi, Jennifer, Nicole, glad you're here. Susan, glad you could join me. If you could put in the comment below where you're watching from. Lynn put, Jazzy noticed doggy first. Oh, Ray. Hi, Jazzy. Jazzy is an amazing artist. Oh my gosh, she's so talented. And Lynn says, my cheap brush is shedding already. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But you know what? That's okay because we're just doing this for fun. Please slow down. Okay, I hear you, Luciana. Marine, Case from Oregon. Heather's ready. Tiff, almost pow. Okay, How's ready. Tina's ready. Chris, Murakami, almost done with light blue, still working. No worries. Kimberly from Michigan, you're ready. Okay, so for those of you guys who are ready, and don't feel rushed, okay, if you're still not done, I want you to rinse your brush really good in your water. Rinse it really good so there's no color in it. Okay, so rinse it in your water, and then you can pat it dry on your paper towel. And what we're good, all right, Anna, Paige, and Jace are ready in Oregon. Heather Kang, aloha from Colorado. So those of you who are done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use yellow and we're gonna paint these stars, okay? Just so we know where they're gonna be placed. And see, I went a little bit low here, but it should be okay. So what we're gonna do is grab some fresh yellow, and because I went low here, I'm gonna start with this star because this is still drying here. And the way I like to paint stars is think of it like someone's head and their two arms and their two legs, right? So if it's easier for you, you could draw a line here, another line here, another one here, another one there, like that, okay? And then we're just gonna connect them like this, okay? And this is just really to let you know where your starfish is gonna be. And if you got some blue on there, it's okay because we can put some white on it later, okay? And those of you that's still doing the blue, no worries, you can still work on that. But if you did finish, what we did was clean your brush really well, and we're going to use straight yellow. And this is just for a guide. Okay, and then I have the other guy. I'm gonna just put him over here. And it doesn't have to be an exact placement. Again, we're just having fun. We're just having fun here. So remember the head and the two legs. And you know what? If it's not perfect here, we're gonna adjust it when we do our reef, okay? So this is just to give us a guide. How are you guys doing there? So if you're having a hard time with the starfish, just remember a head, two arms, and two legs. You can draw a line straight down and then angle one to the right, and from the middle, angle one to the left, and from that middle, the one hand coming out, the middle, the other hand coming out, okay? And then we're gonna do this one here. And actually what I'm gonna do for that top one, because I accidentally put that blue up there, is I'm gonna put a little bit of white in mine, just so it covers it a little bit. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna try to put it a little closer. So this one is a little bit tricky, right? So it's like an upside down V, if you look at the shape. Upside down V, right? Straight line, and then a right side up V here, and a right side up V there. So that kind of gives it the look like the starfish is sideways. You know, he's kind of laying on the side of that reef there, right? So kind of you could do a wide upside down V, right? Okay, and this bottom part, you want to keep it straight, and then bring the leg down and bring this other leg down. How are you guys doing? Kids, you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. Good job. Everyone, you're doing a fabulous job. I can't wait to see your beautiful masterpieces. Okay. Now, if you guys could just let me know, how are you guys doing? Are you still working on the back blue area, or you're working on your starfish, just let me know. So while I'm waiting here too, so you see how I have that little bit of blue there? I'm gonna put a little bit of white actually, as my dog is having fun self-playing, I guess. And again, it's just a guide, so not to worry. The reason why we are putting this yellow here is reds, pinks, and yellows are translucent. So we want to keep the vibrancy in this color. So if we painted it blue or something under this, it would actually, like if it was orange, it would turn like a brown color. Or if we had this yellow and the blue under it, you see how it would actually turn into this green color. So having a white background under it is going to help to keep that vibrancy. So whenever you're painting with those type of colors, you want to make sure that the background is white so that it keeps the vibrancy. Okay, working on stars. Yep, all right, okay. Okay, good jobs. Tina, second starfish. Hi, Sunny. She says hi back. Rose, second starfish. Roger Duke, working on the starfish. And could you review the half starfish? Sure. So on this half starfish here, it's like a wide upside down V. Okay. And this part would be, you know, like if you had a triangle, keep this part straight. So it's like laying on the reef. And then from, I would say maybe this point here, a little below this point, you can draw a line coming down here. And from this middle point here, a little bit below this point, do another line here or another stroke here. And you know, see, like mine's kind of came out here, but it's okay. When we paint the dark color around it, you can always adjust it and fix it. That's a beauty of acrylics. Oh, sorry, I saw that it kind of cut out a little bit, or maybe it was buffering. So from this middle point here, bring this down. From this middle point here, bring that down right there. Okay. Any other questions that you guys had on anything? Okay, Tara, you guys are ready. Oh, good morning, Leilani. Glad to have you. Awesome. Oh, very good to have you here. Glad you could join me. Aloha from Germany. Woo woo. Awesome. Okay, so those of you, so again, if you guys are still working on the other stuff, no pressure, okay? I'd be happy to help you wherever you're at. So those of you that did finish with the stars, what you can do now is we're going to fill in this darker color here. So think of it as layers. We're going to start with the darker colors, and then we're going to add medium tones and lighter colors to it. So what I want you to do first is let's switch brushes to this. So you can clean this brush, okay? Wash this in your container and wipe it on your paper towel. And then we're going to use this small brush, and we are going to grab a little bit of this black, and we're going to do some shadows on here first. So remember how I said this was a little bit curved for me? So I'm going to just go around it. And my yellow is a little bit wet, but that's okay. So we're just creating a little bit of shadow. And then we're going to go back to our other brush after this. And this doesn't have to look like, what do you call it? It doesn't have to be super thick, but just to get a little bit darker color on this side. And our light source is going to be coming from here. So the darker colors will be more on the opposite side. Oops. Good job, you guys. Woohoo! Isn't this fun? I already feel relaxed. So I'm sorry if you kind of notice as I paint, my voice might be getting more relaxed as I talk. So I'll try to make sure I don't get too relaxed. Okay. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is clean that small brush. How are you guys doing? Woo! Allie Jones, glad to have you from Orlando, Florida. Aloha. Abram from Washington, glad to have you here. Carla, ready, love this. All right, awesome. Donna. Okay, what color are you using? So for this part, I just use straight black. Okay, just to kind of give it a little bit darker tone for the shadow on from the stars. Video is frozen. Okay, sorry. Hey, Pastor Junior, good to have ya. Glad you could join in. Welcome, welcome. Any other questions? Okay, so what we're gonna do now is after you add this black, we're gonna do a mixture of your blue with a little bit of black. And I would say you don't want it to be totally black because we don't want it to look black. But we're doing this for some of the shadows on the reef. And you notice here, try to keep it a little bit rough, and that's gonna make it look more organic for some of the reef here. So I'm just using the side of my brush. You can tap it, but we're just filling in the parts around the stars. Okay, just filling the parts around the stars here. And that's a great thing with this flat brush. It's perfect for those edges. And what I notice that helps is whenever you're using it on a side that you want a clean edge, is I kind of put the pressure towards the towards the top of the top of the brush bristles. That's a tongue twister. And that helps to kind of get you like a straight line if you want one. Some people, they like to paint very loosely, and that is totally fine. Okay, this is just a guide for you guys. And so we're just kind of putting, and again, I'm not being precise with, oh, it's got to look super black here, or so some parts too that's away from this, I'm going to even just put some blue, some straight blue. Okay, so we're just painting around the stars. I'm sorry, my doggy. Okay, and just keep it organic. So just make it look like this is a reef. Okay, and you can just mix in between some blue, some black. You see how I just put a little blue there? And that's a fun thing, because what's going to happen with these undercolors here, it's going to create some natural shading, and also too, it's going to have a nice effect next to other colors, right? So if you know the complementary colors of blue, it's orange, right? So that will show through your on your reef and cause the colors to vibrate next to each other. So it will actually make the colors look more vibrant when you put some complementary colors next to each other. And I better check in. How are you guys doing here? Let me just check. All right, Rose. All right, okay. Any other questions? Wonderful. I was still doing the star. Okay, yeah, so sorry about that, you guys. So Olans, so the underneath the stars, I use black here. So if you notice, it's just a little bit darker tone there. And then for the reef, I did black and blue. If the feed stopped, then just jump back on. Can you guys hear me? If your video stopped, just reload the page. Thank you, Kameko. Thank you for your leadership. Abram Jenks. Okay, what color? I think you're asking for the reef. So for the reef, we're using blue and black. Blue and black. Try to keep it more on the blue side. I don't know if on my camera it looks more black, but try to keep it a little bit on the blue side so it's not super dark. I mean, you want it dark, but not totally black. Oh, Laura, Lauren, glad you're here. Was that black for the reef? Okay, so it's black and blue for the reef, and it was straight black underneath the stars here, okay? And I used the small skinny brush, the round brush, for those darker shadows there, okay? Let's see if you guys have questions. Holly Chambers back on. Okay, great. Lynn, glad to have you. If you could put in the comment below where you're watching from, and if you're watching this live, if you could put hashtag live. Okay, great. You guys can hear. Thanks, Callie. Luana, please repeat the reef directions. Okay, so the reef directions were, we're going to use blue and black. And if you notice here, if you notice on mine, I kind of changed it a little, and that's okay. That's the freedom, right? So I'm using this brush. So I used the small skinny brush for the black, which was just kind of a little outline around the stars. And then we're using black and blue for the reef, okay? All right, okay. Hey, Jen, aloha. Glad to have you here. Michelle, Harper's here. All right, playing catch up on the reef. No worries, take your time. Glad to have you guys. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, how are you guys doing on the reef? You guys doing okay? Wisconsin, Pam Boyd, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Pam. Okay, so we're just putting the reef colors down, and that was blue and black. I'm using this flat brush here, and we're just going around the starfish. So if you can, try to avoid getting any colors on your starfish, because that's going to affect your vibrancy when we put the color on top of that. And I know probably right now you're like, whoa, this looks so dark, but this is actually going to be the underpainting for the shadows. And what I like to do, so when you're done with that, clean your brush really well. And what I like to do is move from place to place. So if I'm letting something dry, because remember what I said, if something's wet and we put color on it, it's actually going to blend. But we don't want it to blend. We want to put color on top of it. So we're going to let that rest and dry. And we're going to work on this yellow, what do you call it? Sea anemone kind of thing in the background there. And that I'm just using straight yellow. And you can see, still need time on the reef. Oh, okay. Please still work on the reef if you're working on that. Oh, Julie, live from Orlando. Oh, you're very welcome. Still reefing. Okay, no worries. Still work on the reef. Okay, Michelle's playing catch up on the reef. Okay, no worries. So just let me know when you guys are done with the reef. And again, it doesn't have to look pretty, okay? I kind of like it to not look totally blended. You see how some parts are lighter, this part's more blue. So don't feel pressured. I know that some of you that are very detail oriented might feel a little stressed from that, like, oh, it's not perfect. It's okay. Lots of freedom here. Oh, Melissa Smith, aloha, glad you could join us. Kai, you guys are on the reef. Okay, wonderful. So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to take a little sip of water for myself here. Isn't this relaxing? And sorry for my dog. And then when you guys are done with the reef, just let me know, and then we can move on to the next thing. Oh, yeah, sorry, Michelle. My dog is actually a golden retriever. Her name is Sunny. Melissa Smith, aloha from, sorry, my emojis are blocking. Aloha from Oklahoma. Woo woo. Okay, Amy, I see you guys are ready. And Mercedes, my starfish need help too. No worries, no worries. Okay. Because we can always make our starfish smaller. So when you think of painting, just think of it like troubleshooting. we're just constantly troubleshooting. So you can always make your starfishes smaller, you know what I mean? If you're like, whoa, this leg is bigger than the other leg, okay? So not to worry. So those of you who are done with your reef, what you can do is you can grab this brush here. Grab that brush here. So yeah, Sunny does want to paint too. Hugs to Sunny, yes. Good girl, okay? She just needs a little bit of affection, I think. Okay, so for those of you that did finish with that, you're going to use this brush after you wash it really well. Get all that blue out, wipe it on your paper towel, and we're just grabbing some yellow, and we're going to put it here. And you can do little circles, okay? And I would suggest don't touch this area right now because it's probably wet. So you see how I just left a little space there? And again, just think organic. So this could be coral, this could be a sea anemone in the background, but it's just something in the background, farther away, not a lot of detail. And I want you to notice now, right? Because remember what I said, that yellow is translucent. So because I put this here and it's blue, do you notice how it's a little bit, oh, you might not be able to see it on the camera, but maybe on yours, you'll notice that it looks a little bit on the green side. And that's because it's translucent, okay? Oh, you guys want to see Sunny? Okay, let me see if I could. I saw Allison's thing to see Sunny. Let me see if I can. Sorry guys, if you're like, whoa. Let me see if I can. Say hi, Sunny girl. Hi, Sunny girl. Good girl. Yeah, she tends to snore when she wants attention or she likes something. Okay, Tara, you guys got your yellow starfish. So once you got your starfish done, you can work on doing some of this coral or seaweed or whatnot in the back here. And again, don't touch this dark blue area until it's dried. And mine's is not totally dry, so I'm not going to touch it. I mean, I'm not going to let the yellow touch it there. And when you're done with that, the other thing you can do, or actually I'll wait because I know you guys are probably doing your yellow part here. Oh, she's so cute. Thank you, Allison. Roger Duke, are you using the round or flat brush for the coral? I was using the flat brush for the coral in a circular motion, and just yellow is fine. Uhunawa! Hello, aloha, glad you're here. Tina, she has a canvas in front of her. Ha 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 ha. Wouldn't that be fun, right? Painting with Sunny. Sorry, I'm just gonna see if I missed any of your comments earlier. Ooh, Rudy, Amasol, glad you guys are here. Michelle, she's super cute. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, how are you guys doing? What are you guys working on? Are you still working on the reef or are you working on this yellow part here? Just let me know, because I don't want to rush you guys. And I think some of the sun from outside is a little bit bright. Because actually here when I look at the camera, this part looks all white, but it's actually like bluer here and more white right here. It's probably the reflection from the light that's coming from outside. Reef! Aloha! Ulanawa! Glad you could join us! You guys must be in the zone. Kehao, yellow. Kelly. So fun! Oh, Heidi and Kelly are here. Woohoo! So fun! Olans, my reef looks a little dark though. Yeah, you know what? It's going to look dark now, but we'll add some colors on top of it. This is just going to add the darker tones to create some shadow and just make the reef look more interesting. Carla, love Sunny, so cute. Oh, thank you. Michelle, starting the dark reef part. Okay, no, that's great. Glad you could start on the dark reef part. And that part, just for review, was with the blue and the black. And you can use this brush. Rose from Kaneohe. Okay, you're ready? So Rose, did you do this yellow part right here? Cheryl, just finished the reef, I think. LOL. Okay, so once you're done finishing the reef, you can do this yellow portion here, and it's with the flat brush. Tiff, thank you, finishing up the yellow fluff. All right, okay. Ashley, I'm all caught up, but don't mind waiting. Oh, you're so wonderful, Ashley. Thank you for being patient. So, and what's good too is that if while we're waiting on this yellow fluff area, if your dark part of this reef is dry, like I can feel mine, it's dry right now, then you can put the yellow on this part here. And you know what? It's okay if it touches the blue part. You see how that part touched it? It's all right if it touches it. See, very forgiving. And it looks like I put a fingerprint on there, so I'm just gonna wipe that really quick. Katie, Case, we're having a blast on a rainy day. All right, I'm glad you guys are having a blast. I'm having a blast too. Tina, down with the yellow anemone. This is so exciting. Thanks, Jan, for being so generous. Oh, you're very welcome. Rose, yellow done for anemone and starfish. Yes, we're okay to wait too. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being patient. Oh, look, I even scratched right there. But, you know, that's the nice, wonderful thing about acrylics. So even though I have that, I can always paint right over it, which is what I'm going to do right now. And then just to give you a heads up for those of you that are done, what we are going to do next is we're going to do these sun rays here. Tara, are you guys done with the yellow fluffy thing? I just want to make sure the kids aren't waiting. So if you guys are done with the yellow anemone back there, you can clean your flat brush, and we're going to use white, which I need more paint of, so I'm going to just put some more on my palette. One moment, please. And so some white, done with, okay, done with starfish, yes, okay, 282. Jerry's in the house. Welcome, aloha, glad you're here. Kai, kiddos are ready. Okay, I want to make sure the kiddos aren't waiting. Okay, so we're going to do some of these sun rays here. And I know on my camera it looks really bright already, but it's actually not. And I think it's just a reflection from the light. So we're going to use our flat brush. And what I want you to do is not use a lot. Okay, so I'm wiping off some of the paint. You see how, I don't know if you can see that. You see how little paint I have in there? And just a tiny, tiny bit of yellow like this. So it's very light. I want it to be more white than yellow, but the yellow is going to add some warmth for some of this sunlight coming in here. And don't mind, I have this thing here, but if I move my canvas, it's probably going to fall off. So I'm not going to paint it exactly. And again, point your brush towards your canvas. Okay, we're using the flat brush, and just use an even pressure. And what you could do is at the end, lift off your brush. Okay, so we're just adding a little bit of sun rays, the beautiful sunshine, right? In Washington there, we're sending you guys some sunshine there. Woohoo! And it's gonna make everyone in the ocean happy. They're like, yay for sunshine. So diagonal and pull it off at the bottom. I totally wish I could see your guys painting. Tara, we got kicked off super slow internet and we missed the reef and anemone. Oh, okay, so Tara, what you can do is on the reef was blue and black, and so you could do that part first. And then when you're done with that, just let me know, and then I can help you with the next thing. So guys, if you're behind everyone else, no pressure again, because it's good to create when you're relaxed, not feeling pressured or hurried. And you know what? If we're home from school and home from work, there's no rush, okay? So I wonder what happened. You know, I don't know if it's the internet on my end or if it's on your end. So I'm sorry about that you got kicked off. So Kai, you guys are good with doing the sun rays. So the key for that part is not a lot of paint. If you put more paint on top, it's going to not give it as much of that soft glow. Lauren, what was the ray? Okay, so the ray was white. And you want to make sure you clean your brush really well. You don't want any of that black or blue in it. So once you clean it really well, you're going to grab some white. Oh, can you see that? You're going to grab some white, but not a lot. And you're going to grab a little bit of yellow just so that it has some warmth to it. Can you see that? And I know the camera might not make it look exactly how it is in real life. It might make it look a little bit more tense, but you want it more white than yellow. And we're adding the yellow just to give that sun ray some warmth. And what you're going to do is you're going to point your paintbrush towards your canvas and drag it down and lift it up. Drag it down, lift it up. And we're adding the white to that because remember what I said about the yellow. It's translucent, okay? So just adding some sun rays, a little bit of warmth there. And those of you that are waiting too, we can just add some extra things while we're waiting. You can even put some of that white with the yellow on some of this in the back here. Not on all of it, but just parts of it if you want to. Ooh, sorry if you hear that airplane. It's kind of loud. Okay, let's see. Internet was slow. We'll have to watch on replay. Oh, sorry about that. So Lauren, I hope you got that about the sun ray. So it's white with a little bit of yellow. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't freak you out. I hope I didn't freak out your daughter there, Lauren. Anna is wishing Blakely a happy birthday. Thank you, Anna. We're so glad that you could join us here today. And then if you could just pop in the comments how you guys are doing with that, and then we can continue from there. And how is your guys' internet? Is your guys' internet okay? So again, not a lot of paint, and use the brush. So don't angle the brush, but use it pointing towards your canvas. Carla, me and my younger sister are loving this. Yay, I'm so glad. Maureen Case is wishing Blakely a happy birthday. Doing great. All right, Tina, done with the sun. Okay, so continue what you're doing. Internet is okay so far. Okay, so it might be where people are at that the internet is a little bit going in and out. So, and you know what, probably everyone's on the internet now, right? Because a lot of people are at home. Chris and Amber Rose, happy birthday, Blakely, from Luke, Coral, and Kai. Kimberly, your internet is good. Your video hasn't been cutting out. Okay, great. Holly Chambers, caught up, internet good. All right, great to know that. Okay, so those of you that have caught up, we'll move on. Those of you that are still working on your things, again, no pressures, okay? What we're gonna do now is we are going to work on our seaweeds here. So since this might still be drying, let's do this seaweeds right here, okay? So we're gonna learn how to mix colors. So we're gonna use blue and yellow, okay? Blue and yellow. And because these colors are a little bit translucent, depending on what kind of blue you're using, I'm using a phthalo blue, which is quite intense. We're going to add a little bit of white to that. Can you guys see that? This green right here, okay? And we're going to use this brush, okay? So I cleaned mine. So if you didn't clean yours after doing the sun rays, go ahead and clean it. And you're going to mix yellow and blue with a tiny bit of white. And again, it just depends what kind of green. Like if you like a lighter green, you can add a little bit more white to it. And we're going to just put some seaweed right here. And I'm just using my brush sideways, so it's a skinny way. And I'm just using one stroke, okay? Press it down. The harder you press, the thicker the line will be. You see that? Harder you press, the thicker the line will be. The lighter your pressure, the thinner your line will be. And you can get some nice little tapers there, okay? And you see mine's is different from there. I just wanted to show you, if you wanted to make it a little thicker, what it would look like. And then when we're done with that, well, I'll wait a little while because I know that some of you might be mixing your colors still yet. And let's see. Carla! Oh, okay, where do I live? I live in Kapolei, Hawaii, which is on the island of Oahu, the main island in Hawaii. So, you know, it's nice and sunny here right now. And so I wanted to spread some aloha and sunshine to you guys, which I hope that you're encouraged by our time so far. And so when you're finished with this, and stop me, okay, if I'm rushing you guys, is we're going to work on this seaweed on that side, and we're going to go with the magenta, or if you have red, if you don't have magenta, you can use red. So magenta is kind of like a pink color. You can't really mix any colors to get it. It's the one color that can't be mixed to make. It has to be kind of, you have to kind of buy it that way. And we're going to add a little bit of blue to that to make a nice purple color. Okay, and the same thing I want you to add, and we're going to make this first layer dark. So I'd say add more blue than the pink. Okay, so like a really dark purple. And we're going to add several colors over this. And so you're going to do the same thing what we did here, but you're going to do it up here. And that purple is going to look really nice against that yellow. And to me, actually, that looks a little dark. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to that one. We're going to do another one. And if you want to make it wavy like that, I'm just turning it with my fingers like this. Using that to turn it just very slightly. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, Michelle? How are you doing, Callie? Are you guys doing okay? Blakely, how are you doing with your painting? Coral, Kai, Luke, how are you guys doing with your painting? Everyone must be in the zone. You guys are doing good? Okay, good. Okay. So you add a little bit of, and this one, you see how that one's I did points? This one, I made it a little curved at the top. So you know how I went up and then I'm coming down, but I'm pressing it so that you see how it kind of looks more rounded. So up and then bring it down, putting more pressure, and then I'm lifting it off. More pressure, lifting it off. More pressure, lifting it off. More pressure, lifting it off. I don't know, just to kind of change it up a little bit. But I'll wait for you guys. And while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna kind of fill in some of these parts here a little bit. Wow, everyone's so quiet. It's so quiet right now. Okay, let's see here. KDK's doing so good. They're looking great. All right. Girls working hard. Can't wait to share the finished ones. Well, I can't wait to see your beautiful paintings. And you guys are just doing such a great job. Good job, you guys. Awesome. And again, we're just having fun. So again, it doesn't have to look perfect. And that's what I love about kids. You guys are fearless. How are you guys doing? How are your kids doing? Are they like ready? Just let me know when you guys are ready, okay? Yuji is painting. Wonderful. Hi, Yuji. Glad you could join us and paint with us today. Pamela is in the house. Glad to have you here today, Pamela. Aloha. If you want to join in, come on and join in. Pick up your paintbrushes and you can paint along with us. And this morning I picked this plumeria. You know, you can see it's springtime and the smell is just so strong. So I picked this for you guys. I wish you could smell it. How are you guys doing? You guys are doing okay? So if you're done with the seaweed, are you guys done with the seaweed? After we do the seaweed, we're gonna, like, mine's is drying. I don't know if yours is dried yet or not, but we're gonna add some fun colors to that seaweed. And you might be like, what? You're gonna add what to it? Yes, we are. We're gonna add to our green seaweed here a little bit of this magenta with a little bit of white. You might be like, what? Okay, and we're gonna just add it to the side here. And if you're right-handed, start on the left side. And actually I'm gonna put this on this side. And it's just gonna add a little bit of interest, and this color is close to a complementary color to the green. And so it's gonna make it vibrate just a little. And I'm just using creative liberty of just because. And it's just gonna add a little bit more color to it. And I'm using my small round brush. And when you use this brush, again, I mentioned it earlier, we're not using pressure like a pencil. Think of it like a toddler that's dragging their baby blanket. We're just dragging that paint. Now, at this point, some of our paint might start to be drying. So my suggestion, whenever you use a small brush, is you can always add water to your paint on your palette, okay? And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give it some fluidity. So sometimes when you're doing lines, it might look uneven because it's drying. So if you notice, if you add some water to your paint on your palette, it's going to make it much more fluid and you're gonna get a nice cleaner line. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna look at your comments here. Oh, wonderful. Carla, my kids are loving this. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm loving this too. Lenny, can you repeat the purple instructions, please? I sure can. Okay, and I'll get to the rest of your questions here. So for the purple instructions, which were this here, we're going to use magenta with the blue, and you're going to use your flat brush, this one here. Okay, so make sure it's clean, and you're going to use, so Lynn, if you have red, just use your red and add a little bit of blue to it, and so it's going to be magenta, red, and blue, and then with a little bit of white, okay, and that's going to lighten it up. You see that there? That's going to lighten it up. And you're going to start from the bottom of the seaweed and work your way up. And I just did that for all of them. I just worked my way up, and to make it curvy, you see how I kind of curved it a little? Is you see my finger here? I twist it a little to direct the brush. Okay, so it's just in one stroke. And when I'm done with that, just let me know. I went down to create kind of a curvy thing on the top there. And let's see. Hey Keely, what is the colors on the seaweed on the right side? Okay, I think I just did that. So it was magenta with some blue and some white. Rachel, hi, my name is Sasha. Hi Sasha, glad you're here. Glad you're joining us today. Michelle, she is going good. All right. Glad to hear that, you guys. You guys are doing a fabulous job. And then when you guys are done with the seaweeds, just let me know, and then I'll be happy to help you with the next thing. Oh, wonderful. Okay, and so I see that we just hit a little over an hour. So also too, if you guys need to take a break, a bathroom break, grab some water, you can do that too. Or if you just want to take a breather, step away from your painting, you could also do that, and maybe look at it about 5 feet away, or if you're, I don't know if you're anybody's here internationally, but maybe about 5-6 steps away, and just look at it from afar. And that kind of helps you to get proper perspective, because when you're working on it up close, it looks a little bit different. Wow, everyone must be in the zone here. Carolyn, Milos, aloha friend, glad you can join me. Can you put in the comment below where you're watching from? Wonderful. Oh, did you guys get kicked off? I see some of you came back in. So glad you could come back in. And just let me know when you guys are done with the seaweed. Aloha, Carolyn. Good to see you. How about the kids? Are the kids done? Michelle, still trying to catch up. No worries, Michelle. Yay. Other Michelle says, yay. Carolyn from Minnesota. Wonderful. Lauren, caught up. I'm going to tell people my girl painted this. Woo, woo. Awesome. Holly, Kanashiro, can you please repeat how you highlighted the green again, please? Sure can. So what I did here was we used magenta. I'm using the small brush, okay, so our round brush. So I'm using magenta and I'm mixing it with the white to make a pink color. Whenever you're using a small brush, the tendency is for the paint to dry quickly because it's such a small brush. So if it's dry, grab some water from your cup. So you see how I grab some water, and you're going to add that to your paint. But you don't want it to be like watery running, but just nice and fluid. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. Let me come close. See how it made it a little bit more fluid? So when you're doing your line, it's not, you'll get a nice clean line. Okay? And if you're right-handed, start on your left side. If you're left-handed, start on the right side. And that's just so you don't smear it with your hand. And so what I'm going to do too then is we can also work on that purple seaweed, and we're going to use some white with a little bit of magenta. And it just depends. If you like more pink, you can use more pink. And we're just going to go over it. And if you can, do it only on the left side, okay? And what that's doing, you see how it kind of is creating a little bit of highlight on your seaweed. And it just kind of makes it look a little bit more interesting. Try to do it more on the left side of your seaweed. Let's see. Katie, ready here, but take your time. We're tweaking in the meantime. Sure, no problem. Rachel, my cat was purring. I'm glad. Your cat must be happy. Shrams are caught up. Thanks, Jan. Miss you guys. Hey, you're very welcome. I miss you guys too. So since you guys are caught up, so you can do some pink on top of your seaweed there using this brush. And then we're going to let that dry a little bit. And we're going to start working on the reef and just using a lot of fun colors. This part, to me, is fun. I like this part because you never know what you're going to get. You know, like Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get. So as you notice in our color palette, we don't have green. But if you have green paint, you could definitely use that. And we're going to use, I think, let's use this brush. And we're going to paint these little sea anemones here. Do you see that? These little sea anemone guys. And we're going to do the same kind of green here. We're going to mix yellow. Oops, let me come close so you can see. We're going to mix yellow with a little bit of blue. And we're going to add some white to that, just so it has coverage because it is a little bit transparent. Okay. And remember to point your brush. Well, you know what? I think did I use that? I did use that. Okay, so we're going to do like circles. Circles. So what I don't know if you can see this. I'm using my fingers to turn the brush around. You know what? And I think, guys, I think it will be easier for you if you use the other brush. So sorry about that. I'm going to switch to the other brush here. And that, again, just to repeat, was yellow, blue, and a little bit of white. And again, if your paint is a little bit dry, you can add a little bit of water to that. Rachel, your husband is in isolation. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Rachel says, happy birthday, Blakely. Barb Berry just sent a photo of my painting so far. Ooh, have fun while isolating. Mahalo for the free class. Oh, you're very welcome, Barb. I'm glad I could do this. Carla. I am Carla's daughter, Caitlin Prescott, doing well. Woohoo! Excited to see it after I'm done. Me too. I'm so excited to see all of your beautiful paintings. Rachel, my husband's in isolation. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, it's a bummer. Even I have some family members too because they're coming back from college, so they're in isolation too. So it's like, oh man. So for those of you who are done and are working on the sea anemones, we're going to make circles here. And again, that was yellow, blue, and white. And you can vary the sizes of these circles. And again, the white is going to help to cover it. So if it looks too translucent, add a little bit more white, okay? And you can vary the sizes of the circles. You could do smaller circles on this side, but bigger circles here because this top part of the wreath is farther from us. And just make some circles. And you know what, maybe what we can do is before you make the circles, do the circles and then make eyelashes around them. You can start from the circle and make them come out. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. So I'm coming from the circle and I'm flicking my brush out. So flicking the brush out is what is going to make the end of those eyelashes taper. Woohoo! Fun, right? So you want your sea anemone eyelashes. Well, I'm just calling them eyelashes, but I'm sure there's a technical term for them. Okay, and add water to your paint on your palette if it looks a little bit dry, like it's not covering it as well, or the line is not as smooth or clear, okay? Oh, I'm so sorry about my dog. Okay, and then do your little eyelashes coming out. Woo, woo, woo. Eyelashes coming out. And we're gonna do this more like on this side of your painting here. And if you can, try to avoid touching your stars, okay? And I'm just filling in the little sea anemones with the eyelashes. Let me just check how you guys are doing. You guys doing okay? Then you can do little ones. So make little eyelashes. And that's a cool thing. I don't know if you guys ever gone snorkeling or scuba diving, but it's really, really peaceful. And so that's why I thought, oh, you know, I think this would be fun for kids. And it's something that's peaceful, because when you're in the underwater, sorry guys, you know what, let me just let my dog out really quick, okay? I'll be right back. So continue to work on your little sea anemones. I forgot what they're called. Sea anemones? Anemones. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let my dog out really quick, okay? So continue to work on that, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. How old is Sunny? I think we're not sure exactly how old she is. We got her, we think, when she was 2, because the family couldn't take care of her, so they're looking for a home. So we think she's 2, so I think right now she might be 6 or 7 years old. And Allison, I see your note here. Can you slow down a bit? Sure. We need instruction on the eyelashes again, please. Sure. Scott Pearson, I'm doing good. Okay, great. Okay, so Allison. Oh, and I see some more. Okay. Oh, Chris, I'm so glad you're having fun. Mercedes, no rush to start. Okay, so let me go over the eyelashes again. Okay, you guys? So after you make your mixture, you're using your small round brush here, and we mixed yellow with a little bit of blue and some white. And the white is going to help to cover it, give it some coverage over the darker color. Okay, you see that? And what I did was, from my container, I grabbed some water. So I dipped my brush in there, and I'm putting it in my paint. Do you see how it looks a little bit more fluid? Okay, and having some of that water is going to help the lines to get like a clearer line. So you're using the tip of the brush. Don't press hard. Some of you guys might be on the table, so you can anchor your pinky. I like to use my pinky. You can anchor it somewhere and then just make your circles. And then the eyelashes, you're going to go from the circle and flick it out, flick it out, flick it out. So pretty much at the end of to get the tapers, you're lifting the brush away from the canvas. Does that make sense? You're lifting it away from the canvas to get the taper. But you need to have enough fluidity in your paint to flick the paint, I guess you could say. So sorry about my dog. And then, so does that help, Allison? Please let me know if you want me to go over anything. Mercedes, intermission for bathroom break and snack. Sure. Yeah, if you guys want, please don't feel like, oh man, I have to stay here. If you need to do a bathroom break or snack, that's totally fine. You know, you can always let me know if you need help with anything at all, okay? And let's see. I'm glad you're having fun, Jolie. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, and Mercedes, no rush to start. Michelle, she is going great. All right, okay. So yeah, you can work on wherever you're at. You can work on that. For those of you though that want to move forward, I just don't want you to have to wait. So you can make your circles, do your eyelashes, and after that you could put little circles in your circle. And I don't know if you notice here, some of these circles kind of look oval, the ones that are farther away. So I'm making this one an oval, little eyelashes. So from the circle, and I'm using a light pressure, okay? So the lighter the pressure you use on your brush, the thinner the line will be. More pressure you use, the thicker the line will be. It's kind of like calligraphy, how calligraphy is. More pressure, thicker line. And I'm just using the very tip. I wonder if I can show you right here. Let me see. So if this is my circle here, I am just, see how I'm just barely touching it, okay? I'm not pressing it really hard. Good girl, good girl, good girl. And again, more pressure, the thicker the line will be. Let me just see if you have any other questions. Yes, mahalo. Okay, great. I'm glad you got that, Allison. And again, just flick it out. Super fun, right? It's like little eyelashes. Little eyelashes coming out. Fun. I can't wait till you guys do the starfish because it looks yellow right now, but we're going to make them a nice bright orange. And I'm guessing you guys are working on it because I don't see anything in the comments. But again, if you have any questions at all, I'm here to help you, okay? And it's okay wherever you guys are at because we all work at different pace, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that because again, this is not a competition. We're just having fun here. When I first started painting live at Four Seasons, just for fun though, I would try to do speed painting, and it was fun because I think it really helped me to just loosen up and not overthink things. You should try it one time. It's kind of interesting to do. Oh, my starfish looks. Oh. So even with these little sea anemone guys here, we can also add some fun colors to them too. And that again is just gonna make your painting look more interesting. Oh, okay, let me see. Carla, did you draw the other picture? This one? Yes. So I painted this one as a sample for you guys, so at least you could see what it's gonna be kind of looking like. But as you notice, this is not exactly like that. And so I'm sure yours is not going to be exactly like this, and that's totally fine because it's just to give you a guide how to do it. And I love seeing people when they paint their paintings and then I look at it and it looks like their personality. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like you. So you can tell some people are more detail oriented, more precise, and some people they're like really fast. And really the thing I like to encourage is have fun while you're painting, because when you're having fun, it's going to show in your painting. If you're stressed out, it's going to show in your painting. So have fun. I like to set an atmosphere or environment where people can feel creative and not pressured, not like anyone's going to criticize their paintings, because that's going to show in your painting. And some of the most beautiful paintings aren't precise or aren't, you know, totally realistic, and they're beautiful. So, and everyone has their own style. So I feel like having that healthy, encouraging environment is so important when you're creating, and not feeling rushed too. Kimberly, my daughter loves this. She says it sends her back to when she was in the waves, Florida. Thank you, Jan. Oh, you're very welcome. Yes, I love the beach and I love the ocean. Megan Monroe, I'm on a conference call. Will this be available later today? Yes, I'm going to put up the replay. Carla, yes. So while you guys are working on yours, I'm going to continue with the sea anemone. I'm getting myself confused here. Sea anemones. Am I saying it right? I don't know if I'm saying it right now. I think I confused myself a little. So I'm just going to do a few more. And you can tell when you're playing, when you're like, woohoo, I just want to do more. But we'll do a little something different on the other side. And then just to let you know, I don't know if you noticed this, but on these three, I just added a little bit more blue. And if you notice, the ones that have the cooler colors more, they're kind of pushed back. And the ones that have a little bit more of the yellow in it, those are popping out a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that on your camera. Let me see too if I can move this a little bit closer for you guys to see that. Okay, Michelle Lee, do you mind explaining the purple squigglies in the corner? No, I don't mind at all. So with that, I use the magenta, blue, and white. So magenta, blue, and white. And I'm using my flat brush here. And I started with the darker color first, and then I added the pink later. And you can start from the bottom where your reef is and just use one line coming up. And to turn it so it's a little bit squiggly if you want, I'm using my finger to turn the brush a little as I'm coming up. So one stroke, just use one stroke coming up, okay? How are you guys doing? How are your kids doing? Are your kids like, I'm ready for the next thing? Marjorie, Haley, did you do something on starfish? Sea anemone. Thank you so much. Did you do something on the starfish? So this was just yellow that we did first before we did the reef, and it's just so we knew where they were going to be. And so we want to keep this area white and bright, so when we put the orange on top, that it'll get this nice vibrant color. Because if we mix it with white, or if we had the blue under it, because yellow and this orange color would be translucent, you wouldn't get the same vibrancy. So that's the reason for that. Does that answer your question? Oh, okay. Oh, you're very welcome, Michelle. Donna, Lily is ready. Okay, so if you guys are done with your sea anemones here, then we're going to work on this part of the reef, and we're going to use a small skinny brush, and we're going to start out with some light blue. So I'm going to mix some white with a little bit of blue. And I would say don't have a lot of paint on your brush. So if you have a lot of paint, just kind of wipe it off. And we're just using the tips of our brush, and you're just going to make little dots. You can make little dots here. And I wouldn't go super light. Just kind of think of a medium kind of tone, not dark, not super light, but just in between light and dark blue, okay? And I'm using my tips here, and you see how that's just creating a nice little texture on your reef right there. You're okay, good girl. You're okay. And that's just adding some beautiful texture to your reef. And again, it doesn't have to look perfect. I'm just lightly tapping it. And if you notice, I'm loading it more than I would if I used a larger brush. So I'm just doing a few here, loading up my brush. And I didn't totally mix the blue with the white. So if you notice, even some of those parts have a lighter color blue. You see right there? And this is just adding some fun texture to your reef. Woohoo! You guys are doing amazing. Tara, Brady has already added sharks and fish to his background. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, you can add turtles or jellyfish or dolphin, a whale. So fun. See, so you have that beautiful area there that you could do that. And what I'm going to do is just some of these in between of my sea anemones, I'm going to add a little bit of those little dots texture in between there. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? Are you in the zone? Is that why you're so quiet right now? So funny. Let's see. Chris Murakami, can you explain how to do the spots on the coral again? Sure. This one here, is that what you're talking about? So what I did was I mixed blue with some white. See right there? And I'm just not a whole lot of paint on top of there, and I'm just using the tip of the brush. So I'm almost using the side of it, and I'm just tapping it very lightly. The lighter you tap it, the smaller the dots would be, and the more you tap it, the larger the little dots will be, okay? So that's just going to add a really nice little texture to your coral reef there. How are you guys doing? You guys doing okay? Oh, you're very welcome. Lauren, favorite part? Ooh, texture, yeah. Luana, zone, in the zone, yay! Chris Murakami, okay, thank you, great. Oh, Mally's here. Hey, Mally, good to see you, friend. I'm just auditing. All my supplies are at the other house, 4 hours north of here. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, but I hope it encourages you to get to be able to paint during this time. And just to let you guys know, I will be having a live, another live this coming Friday. It's going to be 10 a.m. Hawaii time, and I'm partnering with Ko'olina Resort. So I'll be painting Ko'olina Lagoon. So if you want to join me for that on Friday, that will be on Instagram on my live as well as Ko'olina Resorts. And if you're wondering, like, what is Ko'olina? So it's an area near where I live, and they have Aulani, Four Seasons, the Marriott, and different resorts here on Oahu. It's on the west side of the island. A lot of people don't know too much about it because most people think about Waikiki, but it's really nice there, and I feel like it's not as congested as Waikiki. So when this all clears up, I hope that you can come and visit Ko'olina. And then when you guys are done with the little blue portion, I don't know if you can see it, I have some pink in there. So I'm using the same brush. I cleaned it really well, and I'm going to use some magenta with some white. And I think I'm going to keep the color more on a darker pink side. Mally, hey, I miss you. Hey, I miss you too, Mally. I miss you too. I miss you and Donna. Good to see you. And so you can just put these little dots over your wreath. And so you see how it's just adding some beautiful texture to your wreath and some happy bright colors on top of your wreath. And it's really mindless, I think. You know, you don't really have to think really hard about it. There's something about just repeating patterns that is very peaceful. And I'm going to put the same color just here and there between those sea anemones also. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to use some of that pink just for fun. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to just do it on parts of my sea anemone. Sea anemone. Somehow I feel like I'm still not saying it right. But this pink color next to it will be, it's sort of near a complementary color. So red and green are complementary colors. So that will just make it pop a little bit. Okay, let's see. Oh, I miss those. Donna says, I miss those Saturdays with you. I miss those Saturdays with you as well. Jen Gahagan, my old hometown. LOL. Well, close enough to Barbers Point. Yes, Barbers Point, my favorite place to go surfing. Mally, Colina is gorgeous. Yes, much nicer than Waikiki. Yes, I think Donna's here watching too. Yes, Donna is here too with her daughter and her granddaughter. Carla, I'm Angela Prescott, Carla's other daughter. Wonderful. There is 4 of us. Yay! And I want to say, I just love this. Oh, wonderful. Having so much fun. Oh, I'm so glad. My grandmother wants me to teach her when it's over. I love that. Rose Hutchinson, where are you putting the red on the anemones? Oh, okay. I'm just kind of putting them, you know how we did it on the seaweed here? So you can just put it, you can just put it on the side. Sorry. Let me see if I can show you there, Rose. So you can just put it, you can either put it on top of it or parts, because most people, like, we know we're doing it, but when people look at it, they're not really going to notice it, but it's actually just adding a little bit more vibrancy to your paint. So you see how I could put it next to the eyelash there, and it just kind of gives it like this little glow, I think. And that's the beauty of acrylic paints. Also, so that's the thing too, you want your paint to be dry, because if this was wet and the green and the pink mix together, then you kind of get a more brown color. So just make sure that the layer under it is dry. And the next color, just because we're having fun with color, is we're going to add some orange, a little bit of orange to this area here, right? It's still a little bit dark, so we can add a little bit of orange to that. Michelle, I just love this. Oh, thank you. I love you. Olan, Sandra, Sammy, Olan, miss Colina so much. And you guys, oh, Colina, and we miss you too. Kim Keys is in the house. Hello, my friend. Glad you could come in and join us. If you have your paints, come and paint with us. You know, you can either paint what we're doing or you can paint whatever you're painting. Kim Keys is a fellow artist friend of mine. Wonderful, amazing painter. Very realistic color pencil drawings. Quite and just amazing. Oh, sorry. So to do the kind of orange peach color, we're going to go yellow, and clean your brush again, okay, before you do this. Yellow, magenta, and white. And I love that. I love hearing that Brady is making sharks and using his creativity. That's the beauty of art, is it unlocks that creativity that you start, when you start imagining things in your own head and you're like, ooh, I see this, or I see a little crab, or I see a little shell or something like that, then that's when it gets really fun and it's going to show in your painting. So you see that orange, how pretty that is, just here and there. It kind of is like a fiery orange. And again, that was red, yellow with a little bit of white. And we're going to use a little bit of white in there just so that it covers. Because what did I say about the magenta and the yellow? They're translucent, right? So that's what's going to help give it a little bit of coverage there. Kim Keys, hey, wish I could have. No worries. No worries, friend. I know that I hope you're having fun doing your beautiful color pencil drawings. Good to see you, Jan. Will you post this video later? I would love to do it. Had a hair appointment and couldn't make this. Oh, not to worry at all, Kim. I'm just going to show you my face. Hi, Kim Keys. No worries, Kim. I'm going to put this up for replay later, so anybody that couldn't make it can watch it later. And so even with this orange, I'm going to use it on parts of the Sea Anemone eyelashes. And this is just going to add a little bit of highlights to it. I don't know. To me, it's making it a little bit artsy-fartsy too. So it sounds like people are kind of in the zone right now, because you guys are a little quiet. How's the kids doing there? Are you guys doing okay? Callie, are you still here? I hope you're painting. I hope you're painting and de-stressing. And I'm glad you could join us too, Michelle. I forgot what your last name was, but Michelle, she's just such an amazing person too, and just brightening up people's days. So I don't know if you see that, but you needed the dark color in the back in order for the highlights to pop more. So you know how at first it was like, whoo, it's so dark. So you can always brighten it up. Usually highlights are the very last. And even some of these parts here, you could even smudge some things. So you know how you have dots, but you could smudge some areas or do little like areas that are more connected. Totally, you know, up to you, but just to kind of give you ideas of what you can do. Oops. So I don't know if you see it, I'm adding just a tiny bit of green now to this area. So fun. Okay, let's see. Chris Markami, if you want to, can you blend the orange with the yellow starfish? Okay, so we're gonna get to that in just a moment. So if you just hang on just a second, Chris, we'll get right to that. Katie Case, Tim is telling the kids stories about surfing with Dave while they paint. Oh, so fun. I know, remember we used to do the tandem surfing contests? It's so fun. It's so funny. Me and my friends, we, just for fun, we're not like professional surfers or anything. So even Chris and Amber, who are on here too, we did these tandemoniums. That was like when I was like more in shape. I'm kind of out of shape right now. But it was so fun. We just did it for fun. Roger Duke, FYI, I couldn't get to buying the paint because of work yesterday, so I'm doing it in watercolor. Oh, okay. that's totally fine. So with watercolor, it'll be a little bit different. So normally with watercolor, you start backwards. You start with the light colors and then you add the dark colors. Just FYI on that, Roger Duke. And so you preserve the highlights with watercolors. With acrylics, you start with the darker colors and the highlights are going to be the last to add. So who was it that I was talking to? Was it not Michelle? It was Chris Murakami. Okay. Yeah, let's get started on we can get started on the starfish. So we're going to mix yellow and magenta. If you don't have magenta, you can use red. I would say mix more yellow than the magenta. I'm going to have to add more yellow to my palette. So if you need to add more to yours. And don't add any white to it. The white is going to tone it down, but if you really want to keep that vibrancy, yellow with a little bit of magenta. Okay, and I would start kind of in between here, okay, because down here we're going to put more of the magenta. So I'm going to just cover this now. And you can always clean up the lines around it if you need to. But this is what's going to make your starfish nice and vibrant. So what I'm going to do is keep this part lighter, okay? And this part I would just say start lighter because you can always add the darker. It's going to be harder to get lighter if you go too dark. Does that make sense? So start this lighter color first, and then we're going to add more magenta red later, okay? For myself, I accidentally grabbed more of this magenta color, but it works because it's on this side. And again, you can point your brush towards your canvas. And for those of you that really like to blend things, use a light pressure and just go over that area. And again, that was yellow with some magenta. And that's really the magic of having or preserving and making your colors nice and vibrant, especially for those translucent colors. Okay, so, and then once you do that, then you can add some straight magenta if you want to create some shadow, because again, remember our light source is coming from this side. So your highlights will be on this side of the subject matter, and the shadows will be on the right side of your subject matter. So now I'm just going to add some straight magenta or red if you have it. So you see how that it kind of is creating that a little bit of shadow there. And then I'm going to put some on this side, and because this part's going down, I'm going to also do a little right there. And because the sunlight's coming this side, I'm going to put the magenta more on this bottom portion of the starfish. Now, if you have a smaller starfish than I do, you may want to switch your brush to the round brush. So use larger brushes for larger areas. For smaller areas, use your smaller brush. You know, you really want to just make the tools work for you. And while I have you guys on here now too, I wanted to let you know some exciting news, because I know that we're probably gonna, like in Hawaii right now, we're on shutdown. So we're gonna be, a lot of people are gonna be at home for quite a while, right? At least a month. So I'll be offering more of these free workshops, and also I invited some of my local friends, artist friends, to help too. So we're also going to have a textile designer come, and she's going to do some sewing projects, some simple sewing projects that you can do at home. And I also have another artist. He's a fine artist, but he also does cartooning and comic book making. And so I was so excited about that. I said, can you do that, the first one? So making comic books and writing your own stories. And we're calling our group Aloha Art Ambassadors during this time, just to encourage you, because you can also be an Aloha Art Ambassador by creating some art and then sharing it with someone. You know, if your friend is down and out, maybe you can send this to them, or even, you know, even as you guys post this, I believe, on social media, it's going to encourage other people. You know, there's so much news that's, you know, disturbing for people. So just by seeing your bright, happy paintings are going to cheer people up. So for this one, as you notice, I use a smaller brush. How are you guys doing on that? I'm going to check on your comments if you have any questions. Carla, Caitlin is already shading her son. Woohoo! Awesome. Sue, me too, water. Okay, that's totally fine. Oh, I'm so glad you could join in, Sue. Sue is an amazing artist. I love your work, Sue. Marissa Arakaki, woohoo! Glad you could join us. I wonder if, I hope Vance isn't having to work. Kai, goodbye. Oh, goodbye, Kai. Thanks for joining us. Katie, wow, Jan, that is so neat and such a blessing. We will be tuning in, my friend. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, please tune in. Kim Keys, that's being such a blessing, Jan. Aw, thanks. Russell Souza in the house. Hey, Russell, good to see you. So if you're watching this live, if you could put #live and where you're watching from. And if you're on the replay, if you could put #replay. So again, I'll be posting this. So if you did come in later and you want to do this with your family or something, then you can rewatch it and do it together as a family. Like someone here was saying that they're going to do it with their grandma. So it's like, yay, you know, spread the love, right? Spread the aloha during this time. So if you guys got that portion done, or how are you guys doing on the starfish? Or are you guys a little still working on some other things? Just let me know where you're at. And then, so after we do this with the starfish, we're going to add all the fun dots on them. Let's see how you guys are doing. Awesome. Hi, Russell. Woohoo. Camas, Washington. Paris, Texas. Woohoo. So after you do your starfish, again, don't use any white, just yellow and red. And now we're going to add the dots to them. Again, I don't know if you remember, right? We're starting with the medium tones, right? We start with the dark tones. Now we're going to add some of that medium tones. So let's go with a little bit slightly lighter orange. So we're going to go yellow and magenta with a little bit of white. Not super light, but just lighter than what you have there. Okay. And this is the fun part. So if you want, you can make your starfish like have a middle here. Oh, sorry. That's a little too light, too dark. I need more white, more white. Okay, and then now you can just add some dots. And again, the lighter you tap, the smaller the dots will be, the bigger or more pressure of the tap, the bigger the dots will be. So what I kind of like to do is I'll make it darker where it's getting a little bit closer to us, right? So maybe these dots on this starfish might be a little bit bigger than the other starfishes. And again, I love this repeat pattern because it's very relaxing. You don't have to think about it super hard. And it's going to add texture to your starfish. And again, if you have any questions on anything that we did previously too, please feel free to pop them in the chat. I'd be happy to help you. Allison Jones, trying to blend our starfish. Okay, great. So those of you that are very detailed and you're like, I want my, you want the color, like it looks thin, you can always add another layer over it, okay? But you have to wait for it to dry. Just in case some of you are like, why does it look like it's not covering as much? Just wait for it to dry a little and then do another layer over it after it dries. Okay, and then after I do the medium tone of that orange, I'm going to use straight magenta here. Straight magenta. Straight magenta. And this is just going to add a little bit of darker. Again, more texture to our starfish. And I'm taking it that you guys are all in the zone. I don't see any comments right now, which is good. I'm glad you guys are engaged in your painting. And when you guys are done with this, could you guys also post could you post yourself if you want, if you're willing to, and if not, could you post your painting and use the hashtag Aloha Art Ambassador, and just so that I can find you, and also so that I can we can just spread this, because anybody could be an Aloha Art Ambassador. You guys are doing a fabulous job. I'm so proud of you guys. How are you guys doing? And then let's see, I'm gonna let the starfish dots dry because after that I'm gonna add a little bit of blue just for fun. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to this seaweed here that has maybe little like bumpies on top of them, little bumps on the leaves. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white and magenta, and add some water if the paint is a little dry. And I'm just doing little tiny dots here. If your seaweed is really small, again, just point your brush towards your canvas and tap it very lightly. Alice and trying to blend her starfish. Michelle, great. Okay, good. So for those of you that just came on, this Friday I'll be having another live painting workshop. And this time it will be on my Instagram, not on Facebook. And this is in partnership with Ko'olina Resorts. And we will be doing a painting of Ko'olina Lagoon. It's so pretty there. So when you're done with the seaweed little dots, now you can just add some white with a little tiny bit of yellow. And I'm just going to do it on certain parts here just to make some parts kind of pop out a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that. So the lighter colors kind of just pop out a little bit more. So maybe it's catching a little bit of the sunlight. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the starfish with white with just a little bit of yellow. And this is just going to add some pretty highlights to your starfish. So for Roger Duke, when you're using watercolor and you're doing this portion, my suggestion would be start out with the lighter colors of the orange, so yellow and red, and you could even preserve some white on this side and maybe even preserve a little bit of white, you know how I'm doing with these circles, and that way it'll preserve some of that highlight on your starfish. So I don't know if you can see how the highlights just really make everything pop. It's so funny how everybody's so quiet right now. Oh yeah, and so if you're not on my email list, the best way is probably to get on my email list to just pass on information about the upcoming workshops. And you know what, God bless them, because several of them have never been on video. So they're stepping out of their comfort zone to come and do these workshops for you guys. So so they're working on that, and I'm not really sure exactly when they're going to be done, but we're going to try to get at least 1 or 2 videos out this week if we can, and that's going to be on our YouTube channel. So it's brand new, the YouTube site, so I don't think if you search on YouTube you can find it yet, but again, if you get on my email list, I can send you that link to the YouTube site because it's kind of long. Oops. And I don't know if you're working on the highlights on the starfish, I think you can kind of see now with the highlights how it's just making it pop more. And really the starfish is the star of your painting. Of course, unless you're like Brady and you have sharks and things like that, then those might be the star of your painting. But you really want whatever your main thing is to stand out. So you can either leave it like that. I'm gonna just put a little bit of blue for fun. So with this, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue with some white. and do a little bit of that here. Oh, and I'm just noticing the time, so hope you guys are doing well. I know that probably for the kids, 2 hours might be too long for them, so that's totally fine. Oh, sorry. Let's see your comments here. Oh, I'm sorry, Megan. I didn't see your message earlier. Can you explain the starfish dots again? Sure. Okay, so with the dots, I started out with the medium tone of orange, and I made orange with yellow and the magenta, and I mixed that with a little bit of white so it has some coverage. So it's not as dark as the initial orange you put on there. It's a little bit lighter. Then I use the straight magenta color, so these dots here. Then I use straight white with a little bit of yellow to create these highlights. And then I put a little tiny bit of blue on top of there. So even on these parts here, you could do some highlights on there as well. And I think for the highlights on the reef, you could do like a light blue. Just make it lighter than normal. And you could even do, I think, a little bit of white. And that's just going to add some. The highlights really is what is going to make your painting pop. And you could put some of them on some of your sea anemones. And sorry, let me look. I'm getting in the zone now. So Michelle Lee, hi Jan, my laptop died, so I have to come back and watch replay tomorrow to finish up. Thanks again for hosting this class. You're amazing. Thank you, Michelle. You are amazing too, friend. Carla, can you add us to the email list? Yes. So maybe what you can do is below this post, could you put your email address or... Oh, you know what? Why don't you email me and then I'll add you from the list there, just because I don't want your email to be out in the public. So email me at Aloha, ALOHA, at Jan, JAN, Tetsutani, TETSUTANI art.com. What I'll do too, Carla, is I'll put some information below too, okay? Or what I'll do is I'll put the link that you can join the email list. Michelle, she did a jellyfish. Oh my gosh, so fun. I can't wait to see your guys' paintings. Julie, I absolutely love this. I'm getting strong Bob Ross vibes, which is a complete compliment. Oh my gosh, it is a compliment. Only more modern and ocean theme. Nice and peaceful, restful, encouraging voice. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. I'm glad to hear that. Roger Duke, okay, thank you. It's not exactly like yours, but it's looking happy-ish. Wonderful. So fun. Carla Jean, can I paint bubbles? Of course you can. Bubbles will be so much fun. Marble Young, or Maribel Young, sorry. Thank you so much, Jan. This was so much fun. Looking forward to your next class. Lynette, I used the back of my brush to make the tips. Perfect. That's a great technique. Lynn, I mean to make the dots. Oh yeah, no worries. I knew what you meant. Tina, sorry, I've been totally in the zone. Now I've lost your audio. Oh no. What you could probably do is refresh, Tina. You probably can't hear me though. Katura, so fun. I'm so glad. I'm having so much fun with you guys too. Arthelina, thank you for making us not feel so alone during this time. I'm so glad. You know what? You guys are not alone, okay? We're going to get through this together, and so make sure you guys are safe, okay? Please be safe during this time. And let's see, Minnie, thank you for putting on this live paintings. Sophia has to do her online dance classes now. We'll post ours. Oh, awesome. At Aloha. Yeah, so if you can hashtag Aloha Art Ambassadors. Love you too, Minnie. Lonnie, thank you, Jan. This was fun. I'm so glad. Michelle, thank you for the class. This was amazing. She loved it, and I hope to have the best day ever. Bye. Oh, thank you. Russ Blake, thank you for this fabulous class and letting us celebrate Blakely's birthday. Yay, Blakely. Naomi, love, love, love you. Thank you. You're very welcome. Tina, when I set my screen to enable comments, I lost your audio. I've set it back to full screen and I gained the audio back but cannot comment. No worries. Sorry, not Facebook savvy. No worries, my friend. Sadie, thank you so much, Jan. We had a great time. Carla is so much like Bob Ross. Thank you. That's a compliment. Lonnie Key, I feel like I'm back in my home state, Hawaii. Woohoo! Awesome. Katie Blaze, your encouragement means so much. You have the biggest heart and you're so talented. Love, love you. We will we'll send you pics. Thanks. Chris Markami, thank you for making a painting video. I feel so creative. Awesome. Yes, Minnie. Aloha Art Ambassadors. Thank you so much. Barb Ferry. Tina, hit refresh. Katie's watching. Donna, thank you, Jen. This was just what we needed. Miss you. Adding fish and jellyfish. Naomi, wonderful. Kelly Switzer, thank you so much. Aloha Art Ambassadors. Yes, then that way too, everyone can see each other's artwork and encourage each other during this time. Mercedes, thank you. Mwah. You're very welcome. Luana, so fun, Jan. Thank you. Blessings. So you guys, I will put this up as a replay. So if you want to watch it again, or if you came in late, then you can still paint, okay? And watch for more goodies coming your way. I'll also put a link below so you can join my email list just to get the updates on when the new videos come out on YouTube for you guys. And let me know what you guys want to paint. I think next week I will be painting a wave, maybe a wave, a beach wave kind of thing. But let me know what you guys want to paint because I'd love to hear from you. And let me see your comments here. Tina, thanks so much. I haven't painted anything like this in a while. Just playing. Yes. Now I've actually made a painting. Woohoo! May it be the beginning of more paintings. Tina, thank you, Jan. Love you so much. I love you too. Ashley, I got caught up in the details and fell behind. LOL. I will post when I'm finished. That's the best, Ashley. I'm so glad that you got lost in the details. That's really what this is about. Just being creative and having that inspiration and imagination and relaxation. Belinda, thank you, Jan. You're very welcome, Belinda. Tara, we had so much fun. Thank you, Jan. You're very welcome. Love you guys. Rose, mahalo. Kimberly, my daughter says she is totally feeling the Hawaii vibes. Woo! Holly Chambers, mahalo, so fun. You're very welcome. Carla, yes. Lara, Shintani, sunsets. Okay, that's going to be something. That will be fun. Rona, hi, Jan. Hi, Rona. Good to see you. Jan, thank you, Jan. So much fun. You're welcome, Jan. I'm so glad you guys could join us. Barb, mahalo nui loa. Had a wonderful time with all of you. Stay safe and healthy. Yes, please do. Sherry, mahalo, Jan. Oh, you're very welcome. Belinda, what's the hashtag again? The hashtag is Aloha Art Ambassadors. Aloha Art Ambassadors. And that way too, we can see everybody's paintings. I can't wait to see yours. Good job, everyone. You did such a great job. Lenny, thanks, Jan. I always take people to your classes at Four Seasons, but I would never do it. Haha. Well, today you did, so I'm glad you did, my friend. Sue, so much fun. Thank you, Jan Tetsutani. Love you. Aloha from Kapa Hulu. You're very welcome, Sue. I love you, friend. Artha Liana, I had so much fun. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I hope that's right. I had so much fun. See you on Friday. Yes, look forward to seeing you on Friday. That's going to be 10 a.m. Hawaii time. I'll post on it. And again, I'll send something via email. Holly, Kaneshiro, thank you. You're welcome. Rona, yes, you too. Tessie, super awesome time with you all. Jan, you're just marvelous and always blessed by you. I'll keep working at it. Woohoo! Aloha. Same to you, my friend. Carla, How do I send my picture? Okay, so I'll post the email list or my email, so you can either send it to me that way, or if you have social media, if you can hashtag Aloha Art Ambassadors, and that's one way that we can find each other. We could do it on Instagram and Facebook. How does that sound? Instagram and Facebook? Oh my gosh, Rona, love from Bermuda. Yes, my artist friend Rona, who I met in North Carolina. God bless you, my friend. Sue Sargas, thank you for putting the hashtag there. Anna, Paige and Jace had fun. Woohoo, thank you so much. Well, you're very welcome, everyone. And keep on painting, keep on creating. Hang in there, be safe, wash your hands, practice social distancing, keep knowing that you're not alone and we're in this together. Emily Jones, my daughters want to do this again. Thank you so much. Great. My phone battery is going to die soon, so I'm going to end here, but please keep painting if you're not done yet. If you have any questions, put them in the comment below because I'll check them later. So if you're still painting and you run into a problem, just ask me a question there and I'll check back here every so often. Thanks, you guys. Love you. Mahalo nui loa. Bye.